Before I start this fantastic interview with Buddy Joe Hooker from Leave It to Beaver, I want to send out a special thank you to my newest members. First of all, Action Jack and Bergie, Golden Oldie 55, Michael Francis, Debbie Flyer, Jack Benny Oldies, Graham Street. Thank you, all of you. If you want to become a member, you're hearing about this, just hit the join button, get on there with us. We do a live chat separately for the members only, and we have a blast. Okay, here we go. On with the interview with Buddy Joe Hooker. Okay, well, it's another fantastic one on That's Classic, and this is really a fun one that I have to say I've been looking forward to doing this. Just a great guy, and somebody that I think quite a few of you will recognize if you're a Leave It to Beaver fan. That is for darn sure. He played Wally's friend Chester Anderson on Leave It to Beaver in the first, I believe, 3 seasons. He is also well known for his stunt coordinator work, his as a second unit director. He's been in so many films, as either a stunt double, stunt director, second unit director. I couldn't talk to him about all of them. That's how many we're talking about. So, anyway, I'd like to welcome Buddy Joe Hooker. Buddy, welcome to That's Classic.
Hello, I'm just very honored to be here. I hope we have a fun time here and everybody enjoys it. So I'm looking forward to it. And thank you again, John, for having me on your show.
Oh my gosh, without a doubt. And hey, by the way, just because I know you have a couple of photos, why don't we show a couple of them to the audience just so they can see your time on Leave It to Beaver a little bit? I think it's kind of fun.
Well, I'll show you one with my later acting career when we were talking about Billy
Yes.
Ray, and that he might not remember me or even recognize me. This is when I was a young actor back in the day, right after kind of the Leave It to Beaver period, 2, 3, 4 years, something like that.
I mean, that's a great shot. You just had that look.
I sleep with that every night right here, so hoping it'll rub off. So let me see here. I have a couple of pictures with Jerry or
Sure.
Beaver, if you will. Here's one that we did. I think the episode was called the Waterman or something like that, where he would sell water. Remember
I
that
love
one?
it. I recognize it.
Yeah. And I was always kind of the Wally's counterpart that, always kind of disagreed with having the beeve tag along. So I was always kind of like, the bad guy that said, nah, do we got to bring him again?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
here's one with Wally and Lumpy and I.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Classic shot. Oh, my gosh. Frank Bank. Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to remember his name. Back in the day, I never knew any of them other than Eddie Haskell. I kind of remembered his name because he was kind of a bad boy.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
he was like his character was exactly him.
Really? Ken Osman was like that as a young guy.
To a T. He was that kind of guy that was always, irritating just naturally.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know, whoever did the casting on this really did some great casting. I mean, not that he was a bad guy, but he was just one of those kind of guys that was, you just didn't want to be around him too much because you want to slap him. He was like that kind of guy. And then later on, I think in his career, he became a police officer.
yes.
And he was one of the innovators and one of the first SWAT guys in LA SWAT team.
Wow.
He became, had a new career there, which as back in the day, policemen, nobody liked him at all. So I'm sure if he was, a beat cop out there, you wouldn't like him at all. But
Oh, no.
anyway, he and I don't want to badmouth him.
Oh, no, I know,
I,
I
I,
know, I know. No,
but
because
when we're whatever age we were, you probably know better than I do what age we were back then. But you know, he was a little irritated.
a bit of a rascal, he sounds like. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was perfect casting.
Hi, everyone. It's John. I just wanted everyone to know about my That's Classic membership. See the join button in the corner of the video? Just click that. For $3.99 a month, you get a members only live chat with me where we talk about classic television in depth. We talk about specific shows you might be interested in, suggestions. It is just a lot of fun. It's been a great collaboration with the members that are part of the program already. For that, you also get a shout out with your name on my next episode, and you get my episodes released to you early before the general public. So hit the join button, become a member. Let's go back to the video.
And I never knew Frank, that was his name. I always call him Lumpy.
Oh
All the
my gosh, really? Even on set, you called him Lumpy.
always. It was one of those kind of things where, there's some directors that you work with, like Scorsese's and Friedkins and those kind of guys who want you and kind of encourage you to refer to your actor friends in their character names,
Yeah, yeah,
just to keep everybody into that. I wasn't doing it because of that. I was just doing it because that's who they were. That was
right,
Lumpy.
right.
He wasn't Frank. He was Lumpy.
What was he like, by the way?
He was exactly kind of what you saw. He was just this really nice, kind of jovial guy, no I don't think he had a confrontational bone in his body.
Wow.
He was just one of these pleasant people to be around, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And he was, also a big guy compared to the rest of us at the time. So you kind of looked up to him as, if the shit ever hit the fan, then he was the muscle.
yeah, yeah.
He was the guy, the big brother type. So
Wow.
he was really cool.
And how about, of course, Tony Dow? I mean, we got to mention Tony. Yeah.
Tony and I, right from the get-go, we had a lot in common. He was a gymnastic trampoline guy
Hmm.
who won a lot of acclaim in that area. So we both shared this gymnastic background, and so on the very first interviews we went on, because I came in to read for the part of Wally in the
Oh, I didn't
beginning.
know that.
Yeah, I was reading the same role and everything and came in, I had 2 or 3 callbacks and everything. So I would always run into Tony there and we would talk gymnastics and we both were kind of hanging out at the same trampoline joint and all that kind of stuff. So uh, we had a lot in common. And then what happened was uh, uh, my agent finally called and said, "Well, you know, sorry to let you know, but they picked Tony Dow instead of you for the lead role of Wally." And they said, and it was nothing to do with your acting, or don't feel bad about anything like that. They just wanted to. He's younger than you are, and so they wanted to get someone that would last longer in the series and wouldn't get old as soon as you.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, okay, it sounded good. I'm sure it was a lot of BS, just to
Right,
pick
right. Because
me.
you're around the same age. Yeah.
And just so I didn't feel bad, you know. And
Yeah.
so I walked away not feeling bad. And then a couple days later, I got my agent call and said, "Oh, guess what? They want you to give you the role of Chester, Wally's buddy." And I went, "Cool, I'm in."
Yeah. Big
So
time.
anyway, it worked out pretty good. There, such as showbiz and acting and all that is like there you're up and then you're down and then you're up and then you're down. And so it just that's kind of way showbiz goes, but it worked out really good. And I think I did seasons, you
Yeah,
know,
that's what I caught in the.
before I got too old.
Yeah, is that what did happen ultimately that you did? That's the one thing I didn't find clarity on. Did they come to you and say, "Hey, buddy, you're out," or what happened?
I don't know. I don't even remember because, um, truthfully, back in those days, acting was not something that it was more of a chore to
Mm,
go to work and everything. I'd rather be hanging out with my buddies and all
mm,
that kind of stuff rather than to go to the studio and learn lines and have to deal with, the studio teacher, and you only got 3 hours of schooling a day and then had to go back to school and catch up and everything. So it wasn't acting wasn't something that was a that I look forward to like a lot of people do.
yeah.
So
Please hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so you're notified when I release a new episode of That's Classic. And in case you missed any of the old episodes, go check them out. Like Henry Winkler from Happy Days, or Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver, or Judy Norton from The Waltons. There's so many. Enjoy.
I can't tell you what happened
Hmm.
to tell you the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, all I know, and I don't even know how many seasons did it go?
Oh, you know what? That's terrible to ask me that because I'm like, oh gosh, now I can't
You're
remember. But
in
somebody
the
will
same
tell me in
boat
the
I am.
comments. I should know. I want to. My brain is saying six, but I could be way off.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. And as we talked before, I had a little couple of run-ins with Jerry Mathers because he was another one of those very irritating kids, and was always, doing something that you didn't like or whatever, always in the wrong place the, at the wrong time or right time. And so a couple of times and my poor mother, back in those days, you had to have your mother or a parent to
A
come
guardian. Yeah.
guardian to the set every day. And she was like a country mom from Texas and very shy and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of caused a little bit of trouble. I don't know. I don't think I did anything really abusive, but something to Jerry to make him cry and go to his mom and all that kind of stuff. So they set me on the bench for about 2 or 3 episodes. You
Really?
know, yeah, for as a punishment. But to me, it was great. I didn't care. I'm glad, but I didn't do it purposely. I think, back in those days, I was just another kid. I wasn't like a kid actor, like,
Right. You were just a normal kid.
yeah, just a normal kid, and I reacted to things in a normal way. I was able to learn my dialogue and I guess act okay in these scenes
Hmm.
where it worked. But I wasn't Laurence Olivier or anything like that, where
Yeah.
I get fan mail right now, and these people tell me about, oh, you did such a fabulous job in all your acting. I've followed everything you've done and everything. And I'm reading this stuff and I'm going, well, this makes me feel real good, but I don't know who they're talking about here. I'm not Al Pacino. It's like, but
Yeah, but maybe because you were so, kind of nonchalant or whatever, you were just being buddy, and that probably played very real, especially on a Leave It to Beaver set.
I think later on when I did, my father pushed me when I was 12 years old, 13, around there. I did my first stunts,
Mhm.
doubling the actor on Rin Tin Tin series. So my father was a stuntman, a stunt coordinator. So that's what I wanted to be, was a
Yeah.
stunt. But my father, he knew the pitfalls and all that of what it was like to be a stunt man, especially in the Western period
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
showbiz, where everything you did was pretty much for real. It was like there was no way to hit the ground easy.
Yeah.
When as fast as that horse would go, when the director said, "Okay, now bang,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
gotta hit the ground." So, he was looking for a better life for me and, was encouraging me to be an actor, which, it was kinda good. I did a lot of stuff. I did Twilight Zones and all that kind of
You
thing.
did Gunsmoke, you did Father Knows
Wagon
Best?
Train. I did a lot of features. I did a desk set with Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. Some of these things where, um, it was great to do, but I didn't go looking for it.
Yeah.
And at one point, I just kind of, when I got out of high school and everything, I just kind of drifted away from it completely.
Mhm.
And then went, pursued an art career and stuff. I had a scholarship to Chenard Art Institute. Now it's called something else. It's a big art institute,
Mhm.
uh, and pursued that for a while. And then at one point in my very early 20s, I went to my father and went, "Enough's enough. You got to help me here. I
Yeah.
want to be a stuntman." So then my whole career changed. But in the meantime, I would I was going to some acting classes with an acting coach back then. His name was Charles Conrad,
Oh, very famous actually.
very
Yeah,
famous at the time. He was like
sure.
the West Coast counterpart to Eisner, you
Yeah,
know,
or
on the East Coast.
Strasbourg. Yeah, yeah.
And so he thought I had a lot of promise. He uh, thought I was really good and helped me. And one of the things that you just mentioned a minute ago that he said that worked really good for me was that, I was myself. And that was
Mhm,
what he was trying to teach everybody to be is whatever you role you do is do it as yourself because that's all you have to offer.
mhm, mhm.
You had a copy of somebody else. So anyway, the acting thing, and especially Leave It to Beaver was a pivotal, interesting and enjoyable, mostly, part of my life.
Was what by the way, the other person that's in there too is, Luke, or Tiger Fafara.
Yeah, Tui.
I Yeah, Tui. You guys, which I've had him on, and I know him, and he's super nice guy.
He
Um,
was the coolest of the bunch. I mean, he was a card, He had a great sense of humor. He wore those glasses and everything, which, made him even funnier, and, he was a very pleasant guy.
yeah, did you guys hang at all? Like, when you weren't shooting, did the two of you get to, like, bop around the set a little bit or go look at things together? I mean, you're young guys.
Yeah, I think, we did a little bit of that kind of thing, but they wouldn't let us venture off too far away from the
Mm,
set or the
mm.
stage or anything just because they knew who we were and what we might be up to as
Yeah.
young kids. So
Oh, big time.
we didn't get to really do anything like that. I mean, we had our fun times, but it was mostly stuff that we would sneak off and do without anybody knowing.
Like, what kind of thing might you sneak off and do?
Well, I mean, we might go and go into another stage and climb up in the rafters of the stage and look down on somebody that
That's
was
cool.
another scene down there and maybe drop stuff on them and then giggle and run and, you know, all of that kind of stuff that showbiz kids do.
What other shows do you recall were shooting at that time, on the lot by you?
Um, Again, we didn't get to venture off
Yeah,
into any of that.
right.
You mentioned something maybe I would remember,
Yeah, if
but
there was another show that
again
was right there. No, that's okay.
again, I wasn't the classic kid actor
Yeah,
that
no, I get it.
that really cared.
Yeah, right. I got it. That's what
I
made you appealing, I'm telling you.
I
Hey,
didn't I didn't hang out with the only guy that I would ever hang out with is Tony when we would go do our trampolines and stuff because I lived on a ranch in the San Fernando Valley where my father had a barn, what they call back there, where he rented um, a period Western equipment,
Wow.
beautiful horses for the cast members.
Mhm.
You know, one of our horses was Silver, the
Oh
Lone
my
Ranger.
gosh.
So anyway, my life was a little bit different than most because all I did every day was hang out with horses and cowboys and cattle and stagecoaches and when you
What
say,
a great time. Did you meet Clayton Moore, by the way?
oh, Clayton Moore was one of my father's best friends.
Oh,
S He was, the Lone Ranger, and then also, Jay Silverheels, who played Tonto,
yeah.
they were regulars out at the barn all the time because they would come out there, and my father and my uncle would teach them, cool tricks to do on their horses and all this kind of stuff, so when you look at the Lone Ranger and he's on that big white horse, he looks the part, he looks for real.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know,
Yeah.
because he got real out there at the barn, so when kids grow up and say that, "Wouldn't let's play Cowboys and Indians," well, that's what we did every day, we had the Cowboys and the Indians out there, and
Oh,
the horses.
wow. Is
So,
that cool? I can't even tell you.
that's the the juxtaposition of me as an actor and going into that environment, which was a lot different than what I was used to every day.
Yeah.
The juxtaposition of the 2 was very kind of weird. I don't know how I lasted that long because, it was just like I was a caged animal in there kind of in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
I had very little in common with much of anyone other than my desire uh, for my father to make him happy that I was going to be an actor.
It's so interesting, by the way, that you were out there, you were with all these horses and, in where you lived and everything like that. But really, when you look at the character that you played on Leave It to Beaver, not only just that you were in a stage and closed up, but really a lot of times you have that look like you're wearing like your Sunday best clothes, so to speak. You always look very put together, as a character. Was that kind of hard for you? Like to,
No,
always
actually,
be
excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt you. We have to give credit to the wardrobe department and the costume designers for sure because, um, they wanted to keep me in the same uh, general area as Tony and how he looked and how his
sure.
buddies looked. But, I I enjoyed putting on all that wardrobe because that wasn't the kind of stuff I was wearing around home,
Right.
so when I would go there, it was like I did have a certain amount of, this celebrity complex, if you will,
Hmm.
because as soon as I put that stuff on, I became kind of like a different character
Yeah. Yeah.
in my own mind without even knowing it, and this is the first I've ever really thought of it when you just brought it up about that.
Hmm.
When I look at those pictures and everything, I always had like a cool T-shirt. Now, I don't know if they gave me a lot of T-shirts to wear, and I'm not sure if it was because Tony and I had good physiques for young kids
Sure. Sure.
at the period. So I don't know if it was something on the part of the costumers to make us look more wholesome or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I always enjoyed the wardrobe.
That's
I would
pretty
like to
cool.
hope that I might have pilfered a little bit of it.
Hey, did you so while you were shooting during those seasons then, did you and Tony still go to the trampoline place together and still do it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we and when we have a hiatus and all that kind of stuff, my someone from my compound would take me over to to wherever he was and everything, and we, kinda like became really good friends, you know?
Oh, that's cool. Did you stay in touch with him in life or
Um,
not?
uh, again, not really because I didn't really at the time understand the value of that.
Sure.
Now I wished I would've. Uh, I would run into him here and there for some odd reason,
Oh,
uh,
that's cool though that you still
but
saw him later in life then.
yeah, but and I followed his career with his directing and all that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
so but, my path and his path went
Yeah, very different. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He
yeah.
had a good I'll tell you though, he definitely held that reputation his whole life. I mean, I've talked to quite a few people that, including Jerry, etcetera. And Tony, just top notch. There's nothing there to
Oh,
say against him, you know?
everybody loved him, and well, they should because he was, if I'm the word I want is he was very, um, uh, always the same, you
Mhm.
know? He never changed.
Consistent force, yes, consistent energy.
Totally consistent, so if you liked him for what he was always gonna be that way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He would he didn't have those ups and downs or anything like a few people do.
definitely.
He
They
was
a lot of people actually, but yeah.
consistent.
Yeah.
Not us. He was consistently
Yeah,
a real pleasant person and a guy that actually cared about other people.
yeah,
When you're having a conversation with him, he was, listening, and he
yes.
wanted to know when he said, "How are you?" He wanted to know, "How are you?" Is
Yeah,
everything cool? Yeah. So,
that's cool. That's really cool. Did you by the way, was there any kind of feeling, was it just a set or did they it feel at all like a neighborhood at all, like where you guys shot? Because obviously the house, was there and all that.
um, let's see, I'm trying to think of what even light where we were on, like, a Warner Brothers, was it?
I think or
Or
Universal?
Universal?
Universal.
Yeah, their backlot almost looks exactly the same
Yeah,
sometimes,
no, I
but
know what you mean.
the, Beaver house is still there on that street because I
I
was
think
up
you're right.
there, and I guess it had to be Universal because we were doing
Yeah, I
something,
think it's Universal.
but in answer to that question, yeah, it did seem like kind of a, real neighborhood because when we were working and they were doing, coverage inside the house,
Mhm.
interiors with the mother, with Hugh or Barbara, uh, we were out there, we had bicycles on the street and, we had running up and down, kickball, all that kind of stuff where
Oh
we
gosh.
weren't having to go to school. We were playing like we were on a neighborhood street, and I loved the neighborhood street especially because I didn't have, curbs or asphalt
True.
or a place to ride a a bicycle.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I had other toys, but nothing like that, so it was almost like when I would go to work, the best parts of it was that the lunches, they were cool and everything, and craft service, a lot of whatever you wanted,
Oh yeah.
but the the playtime when we weren't having to go to school or something on the street was always cool,
Oh.
it's great.
Oh, that's
So
cool. I didn't know that you got to, ride the bikes around. I mean, what a
oh, yeah,
blast.
and when you think about, a show like that and you go there and you've got X amount of scenes to do per day and other people have it, is you had a lot of downtime. So
Mhm.
once you finish that 3 hours of school, it was like game on, you know? You were we were a little corralled. I mean, the school teacher and everything, they kind of were sure that you didn't, go off too far
Yeah.
and get in too much trouble, but we've gotten a little trouble, but nothing real serious.
Gosh, that's pretty cool. You had a lot of different directors that would, were on Leave It to Beaver. Did you was it did you pretty much have to stay to the script or was there any kind of room there to improvise or do something?
Again, back I haven't retained a lot of what was going on there, at
Sure.
that period because, it wasn't that important, but, there were some I think one of the directors that I really liked because I had worked with him on other shows, a guy by the name of Norman Tokar.
Oh, very famous, yeah. Did
Yeah,
a lot
and
of other
he
shows. Yeah.
yeah, and so I had worked with him before, and he was really great, always helpful, like, you know, uh, I don't remember ever having any trouble with dialogue or anything,
Mhm.
but he was the kinda guy that would be real easy and help you out,
That's cool.
but I don't remember, too much directing. I mean, they
Mhm.
would block out the scene, everybody knew what they were doing, and, we would just do it. I don't remember, like, Norman Scorsese in there telling
Right,
you,
right.
"Hey, do this line this way," you have to have this intonation. But, it al it always worked out pretty good, but, most of the time, as I remember, most of the directors were very, easy and interested in your own little, ingenuity
Mhm.
and your, figuring out clever little things to do. They like that. So,
Did
yeah,
you
the
Oh, go ahead, go
directorial
ahead.
part, I remember as being cool.
Yeah. I just thought of this as you were saying this. Because Ken Osman, Eddie, obviously was kind of the, as I said, the rascal or whatever. Did you, because I sense a bit of that obviously in you. Did you ever as a character, because you were a little bit more grounded than he was, let's put it that way. Did you at times ever kind of hope that they would allow your character to be a little bit like him?
Like the beef?
No, 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 like Eddie.
Or, um, I never really, now that you mention it, I never thought, that consciously. I
Yeah,
mean, subconsciously, I'm sure I hoped like crazy I could,
yeah.
especially when there was a scene with the beaver, because then I would have, legitimacy. in what I was doing, but no, I just kinda handled that on my own. I found ways to get my own little deals in there, and, I look at a lot of these stills that I have, and some of these scenes that I have with Jerry is like he's talking to me, but it's like, I'm focused elsewhere, like, I don't even wanna be hearing what he's saying,
Yeah.
you know? So, I think in a way, he helped me be a good actor because I was doing it pretty much for real, like, "Okay, he wants 10 cents for a glass of water, give me a break," that kinda thing. So, uh, maybe it paid off pretty good. Maybe some of these fans are right. Maybe it was really good.
Oh, is that funny? Did you, by the way, when we talked about your audition, and I know you read for Wally, do you remember anything about that audition? Like who was in the room or anything like that? I mean, I know it was a long time ago.
Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, all I wanted to do was get in there and get out
Do
and
it and get out. Yeah.
get back to my other life. So, just the fact that I had to get in the car and my mother drive me to I think we were at Screen Gems or somewhere
Huh?
down in, the old Columbia studios when we first started, down on Gower and
Oh
Sunset.
yeah, I know right where you're talking about. I've been on that lot. What by the way, God, what was I gonna oh, the fact that you're a very athletic guy, obviously. I mean, you were with the back then, your career, you're a stunt guy. Come on. But did you were you ever at any point when you were doing Leave It to Beaver, did they ever pull you back a little bit? Like, oh, maybe that's a little bit too athletic or you're doing too much or anything like that because you wanted to like do something?
Um, Not that I recall because, generally, none of the scenarios in the scripts had anything like that. I mean, it would have
Yeah.
been cool if they did, you
Yeah.
know, let Wally and I go off and climb a water tower or something
Right, right.
and get in trouble for doing that, that the cops have to come and pull you off or something. Um, I mean, that would have been cool, but I don't remember them taking any of our athleticism into account where they use that to their advantage.
Yeah, what a shame. What a
I mean,
shame.
especially with Tony because he was a great tumbler and all that kind of stuff and could have done a lot of stuff, you know.
He was a great diver. Guy could,
Oh,
yeah.
he was like a award-winning diver, you
He
know.
was actually he honestly, I've heard, could have,
It's
like,
like
done the
Junior Olympics
Olympics.
or some kind of thing like that.
Yeah, so yeah,
But
crazy.
yeah, yeah, I forgot about that's how where he used the trampoline a lot was to learn different rotations and
Mhm.
everything without having to go in the water. So, no, they didn't use any of that, which is weird.
That is weird. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of these other shows that you did. I know
And I
you
wanna
mentioned
know why Tony Dow never cast me as an actor when he was directing something.
that's a good
What
point. I
can
do
you ask
wonder.
him that?
I do. I wish I could. I really wish I could.
Hey, if we could, we would really be big time.
We'd be really big time right now. You're darn right. Hey, you had Gunsmoke, Father Knows Best, Twilight Zone, Adventures of Rin Tin Tin. We mentioned Wagon Train. Why don't we get a little bit of each of those? Because I'm sure that the audience is going to be like, "What do you know?" Lee Akers, by the way, is Adventures of Rin Tin Tin. What's your recollection of being part of that? Because you mentioned being on that.
Yeah, I doubled Lee Aker for, I think, 3 or 4, uh seasons of Rin Tin Tin.
Hmm.
Lee Aker was my counterpart. He was like a a troublemaker too. They had to keep us both controlled all the time. We back in those days, I was standing in and doing all of his writing for him and whatever kind of falls or whatever he had to do. So we were working at Corriganville, which, you've probably never been there, but it was
Oh, where's that?
a western ranch out in Simi Valley,
Hmm.
and it's owned by a friend of my father's named Ray Crash Corrigan, a big
Oh, perfect name.
crash.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they built, a big fort out there. What was the name of that fort? Fort Apache. Hey,
Yes.
no,
I think that's right. Yeah.
it is right.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we they built this huge fort out there, Fort Apache, you know, with the gates and the
Yeah.
catwalks and all that kind of stuff. And we had the pretty much the run of the mill of whatever we wanted to do. My father was the stunt coordinator. He generally had about 6, 8, 10 stuntmen that I all knew. We all knew. Uh,
Wow.
on the show. And so it was another big family all day long. You wore, I wore Lee Akers' little uniform with the hat, the
Yeah.
cavalry
Yeah.
uniform. Everybody was either in a cavalry outfit or Indians or Westerns.
Oh,
So
what a
when you talk
blast.
about having a blast, I mean, it was we I always wanted to go to work. It was
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. So, but in those days too, it was like, you'd get on a bus in the morning and they would drive you about an hour and a half over Santa Susana Pass.
Sure, I know where you're talking.
There was past Big Rock and all that. There was no 118 or any of that
Right,
kind.
there exactly.
So we would get there, then do periodic 3 hours of school a day. And then the rest was when we weren't in a shot, we were having a blast.
Oh, wow.
We were crawling around up in the catwalks, we were shooting each other, we were having a blast, so it was a lot of fun. And I learned a lot about, my future career as a stunt person because
Mhm.
My father was a fantastic stuntman. He had, all of his friends, which were all of my friends too, because they were out at our ranch all the time. So,
Mm.
it was one big, huge family, and, um, Rip Masters was also I'm trying to get his name, I'll get it in a minute.
It's
Rip
okay.
Masters was a very close friend of my father's as well.
Wow.
So, we knew each other before the series. One really cool side bit here is my father, because he was a very enterprising, creative guy, aside from being a stuntman and stunt coordinator. He knew Lee Duncan, who owned the descendant of the real Rin Tin Tin.
Oh,
So my
wow.
father uh, got some money somehow and did the pilot for the Rin Tin Tin series. It was his idea.
Really?
Yes, and he did the pilot for it. Consequently, my father was out of Texas, very little business acumen, no idea about everybody did handshakes back then. You
Yeah.
told somebody something, you trusted him, and he got involved with a producer by the name of Burt Leonard, who produced Rin Tin Tin. Then he did Circus Boy
Oh,
and
sure, with Mickey Dolenz.
Mickey Dolenz. I did that one too.
Oh, did you really did Circus Boy too? Wow.
So that was in my stunt days. But my father trusted this guy, and contractually, my father got written out of the
No.
thing. The producer offered him a job as a stunt coordinator as consolation, which my father had no other idea
Yeah.
about, this is Hollywood. So
Oh.
anyway, that was just a short story of I don't know where I would have been now. Maybe I would have been um, Lee Aker.
It's funny. It's funny. I love that, buddy. I really do. And actually, I'll say, Buddy Joe. I want to make sure I get
Yeah.
that. But anyway, it is funny that a moment like that, where you look back now and you think, "Gosh, that guy, that producer, you know, screw him, what he did to your dad." But the truth is, you're right. Look at the door it opened, and then you have another door that opens to you. It's kind of
Yeah.
wild.
Right. And this director became he did like huge. You look up his name, became episodic TV's biggest guy.
Oh,
And
wow.
my father gave him a break,
Oh, wow.
right?
Yeah. Sure did.
Yeah.
Did. Yeah.
And while we're on that subject about my father being very creative,
Sure.
later on, when he's trying to develop my acting career, I know this is about Leave It to Beaver, not about
No,
Buddy.
it's not. No, 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 no. I said we're gonna go into your whole thing, so don't worry about that. The heck with that. We talked a lot about Leave It to Beaver. I
You
loved it.
can edit
Oh,
you can edit this stuff, right?
no, let's just go. I'm
Okay,
cool.
so my father wrote he was a producer, a writer, director, all these things he wanted to be. So he wrote a screenplay called The Littlest Hobo. So he cast me as in the film as one of the leads, and I starred in this film called The Littlest Hobo that he produced. Again, he needed money to finish it off, so he went to another buddy of his.
Yeah.
Uh, the buddy gave him X amount of dollars, and my father gave him the directing credit on the film.
Oh, jeez.
My father actually directed the film, but anyway, that's kinda how everything worked out, and so I, did a film that was very popular, went to the Cannes Film Festival, it was in
And that was
18
before Leave It to Beaver, the Littlest Hobo, right?
yes, this
Yeah.
was in 1958.
Right. Right.
So, I had done a few acting things before that, uh, I forgot that that was before, but yeah, that was in '58, so
Hmm. And where does like Gunsmoke and Wagon Train? I mean, obviously, with the background that you had, you're a natural for that. What can you tell me about each of those experiences?
Um, well, uh, one, actually, my agent would get me the interview.
Mhm.
My agent also knew my background about being a horseman and, you know,
Yeah,
a stunt kid and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
you were like perfect for it.
Yeah. So they would, my agent would tell them, oh, he also rides. If he needs to get shot, he can fall. He can do this, that, everything. So I would go in and read for these things, and I'm sure it wasn't my acting ability.
Hmm.
Uh, the fact that I could ride the horse in there, get off it, and then get shot in the back or something helped. So
Yes,
uh,
definitely.
that helped me get a lot of those things. In Wagon Train, especially, it wasn't. I was in a let's see, what was it? Uh, I think it was Wagon Train where I played twin brothers.
Wow, that's a pretty big deal, actually.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Uh, it didn't seem like a big deal at the time, but I played twin brothers in Wagon Train. Later on in life, I had twin sons.
Okay, that's wild. Okay, all right.
So
Jeez.
anyway, I played twin brothers where at one point, for some reason, I'm in the back of this Conestoga wagon going down the trail, and bandits do something. I don't remember the exact storyline, but I get shot and have to do this fall out the back of this Conestoga wagon onto the trail. So
Not too many kids could do that, by the way. Sorry.
no, not at all, or nor would they let them. But
Right, right,
back
true.
back in those days, stunt kids was a cool thing.
Yep,
They didn't have all these laws and all that stuff.
right.
So then later on in the story, um, I show up again as the twin brothers. Somebody opens the door, and there I am. And these people think that they're the ones that already killed me.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So that was a fun thing. I enjoyed that.
Wow.
I forget the name of it, but
Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty memorable though, twins. Do you remember anything from, Gunsmoke?
Um, Jim Arness, I remember him.
I mean,
Uh,
talk about big guy. He's a big man.
big guy, huge,
You're right, I mean, really.
and but really a cool guy. He was like a gentle giant kind of. Um, but I don't really uh, know too much about
You just
that.
remember him, who I'd be hard to forget him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the fact that it was Gunsmoke and I got to be on it, which I thought that was kinda cool. I
yeah,
probably bragged about that to
yeah.
my buddies.
Oh, yeah, without a
Um,
doubt. I had just interviewed somebody recently that told me that, and I have to admit, I did not know this. I don't know how it escaped me, but Peter Graves from Mission Impossible,
yeah,
James Arness and Peter Graves are
they're
brothers.
brothers. Yeah.
Like,
You
come
didn't know
on.
that?
What kind of success do you want, you know?
Yeah, and they were both pretty cool guys.
Wow. I mean,
Later
really.
on in life is, James Arness's son got to be a world-class surfer, and we
Oh,
both lived in Trancas Beach where
oh,
James had a, kind of a house, and I was living in a guest house, so he I would see him, uh, Jim all the time, and his, son, and we would surf right in front of our house all the time, and he went on to James is a big time guy then, and James would take his airplane that he flew himself and take his son down to wherever the waves were big in Argentina or
oh,
wherever, so he could practice. You know, it was a cool thing, but they were a nice, cool family.
oh, that's really cool. I surf. I still surf. I mean,
I wish I could, I just have a bad rotator, you
oh,
know,
I get it. I
but
get it.
you're a youngster.
Yeah. I love you, buddy Joe. I'm gonna tell you that right now. No, I No, it's so funny that you say that because I did notice when I was doing the research on you, there was just a quick little moment. It said surf guy, and I was like, I'll be darned, he's a surfer. I knew
Oh,
it.
I lived in I don't know where if you know this surf spot, you probably surfed it, is you know where Decker Canyon comes into the Coast Highway?
Yes, I do.
Well, before the fire burned my house down and my beach house, is I lived right across the Decker Canyon entrance there to Coast Highway on the beach in a guest house
Oh
for
my gosh.
13 years. And there was a beautiful break right out there, a left and a right.
Oh,
So I don't know,
what
you
a
probably
dream.
oh, dude. And at the time, it was like there was no entrance. You couldn't, come in there. They didn't have
Right,
entrances.
parking or yeah.
None of that. The only way you could get in there is if you owned property. So
Oh, man.
we had that beach from Leo Carrillo or Secas, as we used to call it,
Yeah, of course.
all the way to uh, Trancas Point,
Oh
down where the gas
my
station
gosh,
is.
wow.
That was our beach. I,
Wow.
I won't tell you what we did there, but it was pretty free back in the day.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. I'm glad that you mentioned the surfing because I did wonder about that. I knew there was something there
Oh, are you
for
still
sure.
surfing?
What am
Still
I?
surfing?
I'm
Still?
what? Say it again?
Still surfing.
Oh, I'm still surfing. Yeah, I'm still surfing. I just went yesterday morning. So,
Where?
well, I mean I like to basically in the South Bay. I'll just say that.
Hey, there's breaks down there,
Oh yeah.
now and again. Uh, but we did a lot of from here up north, Malibu
Oh,
north,
County Line, all those
county line,
Yuma.
Ventura overhead,
Oh yeah.
all of that kind of stuff up there. Um, what's the ranch up there?
Oh,
Um,
oh God, I can't believe that. I,
uh, uh,
my brain went to Stevenson, but that's not it. It's
oh, it's um,
Porter Ranch? No,
oh no, that's the other way.
oh
I'll
Jesus.
remember in a minute,
Anyway, yeah.
but that and you couldn't get in that place. What they did was started selling plots of land to people, and the surfers that had money. I was doing all Jan Michael Vincent's stunts and stuff at the time. We were good buddies,
Yeah.
so he bought a plot there, so we could go into it. Was something ranch. Oh, I'll
It
think about it.
happens.
So we got to surf there, which that place is beautiful. Then the boaters came in, everybody started coming in by boat. But there's some beautiful, you know, places to surf up there.
Was
Keep
Jan
at it.
Michael Vincent a surfer? For real then?
Oh, for real.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's because he always had that look. I always wondered. He really
Oh, no,
was.
he was for real. He wasn't like, he maxed out at about 10 feet. You know,
Well,
he,
that's pretty good. That's pretty
he
good. On my end, there's no way. 10 feet scare the hell out of me. Yeah.
We always went looking for the big stuff, but, Rincon, you ever surf
Yes.
Rincon? Rincon's great. Uh, but, that's the biggest he ever did, but he was a good surfer. He lived when I first met him, he lived at they call him the ranch at Topanga Canyon down in there
Yeah.
behind Old Market that burnt down.
Yep. I know right where
That's
you're
where he
talking about.
lived.
I was
So
just there today, literally.
he surfed, Topanga all the time, and Topanga, on a good day with the higher tides without the rocks, is got some great waves,
Wow.
Topanga Canyon.
Okay, I'm cracking up because I literally was there this morning. I literally and I thought, man, why don't I have my board? But anyway, yeah.
You have to have a higher tide because those rocks are brutal. If you lose your board, you gotta walk for 25 yards over volcanic ash.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. I'll
We
remember
did
that
it.
if I do. What by the way, speaking of Father Knows Best, what do you recall anything about the show?
Not a thing.
Okay.
Uh, I just recalled that, it was kind of I had changed my idea about acting and everything by that time, and I think that I enjoyed being there and knew that it was, it was a well-acclaimed, um,
Mhm.
TV series,
Yeah.
like it was like, church, everybody thought that show was great, and so when I was on there, I had a certain amount of reverence to being there and being
Mhm.
cool and doing everything they asked me to do without any problem.
That's
So,
cool.
uh,
By the way,
that's
did
all I remember about it.
yeah, that's fine. With Leave It to Beaver, there was one question I meant to ask you. Did Hugh Beaumont or Barbara Billingsley ever, either talk with you or with like the kids, or did they have any kind of like presence offset with you guys?
Yeah, I remember, I really liked, Hugh Beaumont. He was fantastic. I had a crush on Barbara Billingsley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Old mother crush, whatever, uh, at the time, but, like, if we were doing something around the kitchen table and, you know, Tui and I would show up for something in between, shots, she would just say, "Hey, sit down," and take a seat while we wait and have conversations.
Huh.
The guy was very, very personable and, uh, really acted like, you were definitely part of the family, you know? Are
Wow,
we
I
talking
love
about
that.
Fathers Know Best or Beaver? Fathers Knows Best we were talking about, right?
Well, we were, but I went back to Leave It to Beaver. I like to
Yeah.
jump around. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool
me too.
though. I
But,
like hearing
yeah,
that about Hugh.
you always it was like you always felt comfortable being around them. It wasn't like they were playing the father and she was the mother. It
Mhm.
was like they were a father and a mother. They weren't
Yeah.
mine, but they were somebody's. So it was like, they were like very, very easy to be around and to do scenes and stuff with because, it was they included you into the overall feeling of whatever the scene was and everything.
That's so cool. Hey, I gotta ask you one that I only saw one blurb of this and I was like, okay, that's pretty amazing. You were on the dating game, and not only that, you got chosen by Farrah Fawcett. Let me say that again. Farrah Fawcett.
Awesome.
What?
Yes.
What happened? Like, did
I
they
was
send you on a
cool.
trip? What happened?
I was cool. No, I'm gonna give you a short story on it.
Oh,
I'll
I have
I'll make
time.
it Reader's Digest. Anyway, the 3 of us contestants, the 3 guys, we were all stuntmen.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
we went in, you're gonna get a good story here. So we all went in on an interview and they told us, we're gonna do this show and everything. And when she picks one uh, of you, there's going to be a fight breakout. And the guy that she picked, the other 2 of you are gonna start a fight with him. And they gave us, you know, tearaway suits and blah, blah, blah.
Oh
So
my
he
god.
said, the only thing is we don't know who she's gonna pick because the show is for real. She has no idea about this, what's happening. So you're gonna have to do organize 3 separate routines. You're gonna have to choreograph 3 of them. So like if they pick you, the one guy, there's one scenario. If they pick me, there's another scenario.
Yeah.
So we said, fine. And the cool part about it is none of us cared about Farrah Fawcett, or I mean, I knew who she was and all that kind of stuff. And um, other than had a day's work, we got hired
Oh,
on Screen
funny.
Actors Guild contracts to do a fight, which, back then maybe you worked once or twice.
It's a
Who knows?
job. Yeah, I
So we were
gotcha.
stoked. We were stoked to have this job,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So anyway, we do the thing, and I don't know if did you ever see the show?
I mean, I remember it, but I
On
didn't see it
YouTube.
since our interview, but I do remember seeing it with Farrah. Yeah.
So what happens is she asks all these questions and blah blah blah, blah, and I answered them kinda cool. I remember the line she said, "If you were ever gonna bring me a bouquet of flowers, what would they look like?" And I went, "Well, first of all, Farrah, I wouldn't bring you a bouquet of flowers. I would bring you one single red rose with baby's breath."
Oh, smooth.
So, anyway, again, I'm just coming up with shit when she
Yeah,
asks her questions so you don't seem stupid. And, so then later on, she told me that's why she picked me, because of that line. So, anyway, she picks me, right?
yeah.
Woo, woo. So, all hell breaks loose. We start this fight. We're turning chairs over, ripping suits, punching guys on the floor. The audience goes apeshit. People start screaming, some people jump up there and try to stop the fight, and the commentator come and Farrah's up there, "What's happening? Ah!" All this kind of stuff. So, the commentator, I forget what his name was, the
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
uh, he goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, everybody calm down. This was an April Fool's joke. Today is April Fool's. So everybody relax." And they go, "These guys are 3 Hollywood professional stuntmen."
Oh my gosh.
So then they introduce us,
Yeah.
and, when they introduced us in the beginning, they gave us false identities. They said, I was a artist from Big Sur, trying to do this and that, and all these other things. So, anyway, it was great, and it worked. It was so for real that the audience flipped out, she flipped out, and they had to, like,
Oh, that is
security had to
hysterical.
get the audience off the stage. It was great. So, then at the end, they do whatever they do, and Farrah and I go in the green room,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
now I'm excited, go, "Woo, this is gonna be great." I get to go to Kitzbühel, Austria, skiing
Wow.
with Valley of the Dolls or
I mean,
whoever.
come on.
Yeah, and so I'm beside myself, no big deal. I'd been around starlets before, so it wasn't that big a deal, but it was cool.
Yeah,
And, I did a good job, did a nice fight, and,
and she
so
was
things sounded
beautiful. I
good.
mean, come on.
Oh, yeah, she was beautiful and sweet as can be.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about how great it's gonna be. Wham! The door comes open. Oh, the door flies open, crashes against the wall, and in walks the $6 million man,
Oh,
Lee
no way,
Majors.
Lee Majors?
So, Lee Majors is her boyfriend at the time.
Oh,
I don't know it. I don't even care. But anyway, he stands there like this, and he looks at me, and he looks at her, and he goes, "Farrah, you are not going anywhere with him."
oh my gosh.
The finger in my chest with him. And I'm going, "Cool. I got my SAG daily and a stunt adjustment. I'm stoked."
So what
So then
happened? So did they give you anything towards the
he
trip?
leaves. Oh, yeah, so they said, the guys come in, and the producers and everything, "Hey, we're really sorry about that. We didn't know that was gonna happen." I'm going, "It's fine, it's fine." Things like that happen. I would have probably done the same thing because I wouldn't want her to go with me either. And so they said, "But this is what can happen. What we're gonna do is you get to go to Kitzbühel, Austria for a week skiing and seeing the Lipizzan stallions and do all this stuff,
Wow.
and you get to take whoever you want."
Oh, that's amazing.
So, I went.
That's so cool. Wow.
Yes, it's quite a story because I can't tell you how many people have called me and said, "Hey, listen, I just saw this thing. C. Thomas Howell, from,
Oh, sure. I
uh,
don't yeah. The
Pony Boy.
Outsiders and everything else.
Uh, so we've been friends ever since we did the movie. So he calls me and goes, "I just saw this thing, and I got a lot of questions to ask you." Yes. What really happened? Did you go with Fawcett? Did you go? Anyway, and this was only like about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, funny.
He had just seen it on something, but he didn't know all of the, you know, behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's a pretty big behind the scenes Lee Majors blowing through the door. Yeah. Did by the way, did when he was poking your chest, did you have to kind of hold yourself together a little bit with a
Uh,
guy doing
from
this?
laughing,
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was funny as hell. In fact, I thought maybe that was part of the thing, part of
Oh,
the for
wow.
a minute. But then I looked at her and I could tell that, you know, it, it wasn't part of the deal because she was, didn't know what he might be
Oh,
doing.
wow. That is wild.
Years
Right.
later, though, speaking of Lee Majors, we became real good buddies. We recounted that whole thing and everything, and so it was. He thought it was funny as hell too. He
Oh,
should
is that
I
cool?
should have let her go with you.
That's funny. Oh my
He
gosh.
their relationship was over by that time. I said, "Yeah, you should have, man."
Oh, that's so funny. Well, yeah, because Ryan O'Neal, who happened to be his close friend, ends up with her. So yeah, I get it. Hey, you were in a lot of great movies, as I said, either as stunt double, stunt coordinator, second unit director. So many, but quite a few I want to ask you about, but one that is kind of an odder one, but it happens to be my wife's favorite movie is Harold and Maude, and
That's a classic.
it is a classic. It is, and Bud Cort, we just lost him not too long ago here.
Yeah, and we lost Hal Ashby, a long time
Oh,
ago, the director. He was, um before that movie, we got to be good friends because I did a film with him called that Blake Edwards directed called Gaily Gaily Back East,
hmm.
and, he was you know, like
Oh
to
yeah, I've
to
heard that.
smoke and everything, and so we kind of bonded a little bit and, got to be good buddies, and then he called me to coordinate Harold and Maude.
Yeah.
And, it was I loved the film. I loved Bud Cort, I loved, Ruth Gordon, and I loved working with Hal Ashby. I
Mhm.
did quite a few films with him, like 5 films after that, and he was probably one of the best directors I've ever worked
Oh,
with.
well, he may be one of the best directors, period. Yeah.
I mean, when you see being there, it has to be one of the better things that Peter Sellers has ever done.
Yep. I agree.
Coming Home, some good ones.
Oh my gosh. So what I guess what was Bud Cort like? What was Ruth Gordon like? Because
Well,
it's a very quirky film, you know?
Ruth Gordon was kind of almost my age, right?
Yeah,
And
that'd be about right. Yeah. Probably.
and, fried chicken. So, anyway, she was everything you saw her do in the film, running up and down stairs, doing everything other than the driving, she did.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
she was blowing everybody's mind. I mean, and she had great legs, she was like a dancer and was still kind of into it and everything, a Broadway dancer. And so she was just the sweetest person
Wow.
and wanted to do everything we asked her.
Hmm.
And I would have to say, no, no, Ruth, you don't need to do this. Oh, Buddy Joe, please. I want to do it. And so I would go, okay, well, yeah, let's go talk to Hal and see what he says.
Yeah.
She
Wow.
wasn't she wasn't taking no. And then Bud Cort, Hal cast him out of New York.
Mm.
and Bud Cort comes, great guy. Before we get into Bud Cort, I'm gonna talk about Cat Stevens a little bit.
Oh, Cat Stevens is one of my, like, I loved him. Yeah, loved
How
him.
had him, to do the score and everything, and he invited him to come to, um, California. We were shooting up north, and, Hal had a big, like a 6-bedroom mansion in the little town we were working in, and he invited, Cat to come for a couple of weeks to go start working on the music and everything, and I was staying there too.
Oh, come on. Come
So, it
on.
was like the 3 of us would sit around, smoke weed, and Hal would talk about music, and Cat Stevens would play the guitar and sing, "Hey, how about this?"
Oh, come
And
on.
so it was like this, and I didn't tell you the truth, I didn't know who Cat Stevens was from a hole in the wall. He
Wow.
hadn't had any big hits yet. He wore this black cape around and everything. He was
Wow.
vampire with with an English accent, but he was the nicest guy, and we would go into the 3 of us would go into these clubs and stuff in San Francisco, him with his cape and all kind of stuff, and and it was like one of the best weeks I've ever spent, with a director and somebody like Cat Stevens,
That's cool.
and so, anyway, that was just a little sidebar.
Yeah, I love it.
But here we have, Bud Cort. Bud Cort comes from, New York, um, doesn't have a driver's license, never has driven a car, ever. He's from New York. They
Yeah,
do
of course.
everything
I never thought of that.
everything with, cabs and this and that and everything. So, uh, Bud Cort comes, he's one of the inhabitants of the house there with us for a while. He fits right in.
Oh,
He's
you've gotta be kidding me.
like his eyes are this big round with Cat Stevens in his cape. He thinks Cat's gonna like, vampire him. But anyway, he was a very, I have to say, naive, sweet, you
Mm.
know, great person, you know. Um, so Hal starts telling him about what we're doing and this and that, and he's gonna drive a hearse, and we're gonna hang him, and we're gonna set him on fire, and we're gonna do all of these
Yeah,
things.
I mean, there's a lot in that movie, yeah.
You you would have to refer to him as a, not that he was, but on the surface, he would be like a pansy.
Yeah, yeah, right,
His
right.
hands had no, calluses or
Right,
anything,
I gotcha.
and the fact that we're gonna hang him and
Right.
we're gonna light him on fire, I'm just going, "How?" And so, anyway, that was my
Oh.
chore, was to get him ready for all that kind of stuff, convince him that everything was gonna be okay, and the fact that driving the car, that was gonna be a whole 'nother thing. We would figure out how that's gonna work.
Wow. I
I
mean,
had n I had no idea. I didn't have time, you know, to teach him how to drive because it takes weeks to do that with,
oh, certainly, yeah.
where you can trust him with a camera, a
Mhm.
a crew in there and other actors and this and that. And so I was, you know, trying to figure out how we were gonna do this and the, you know, the techniques and everything. We didn't have, remote this and that back then about,
Right.
AI, IA, all that bullshit. So anyway, um, we I figure out a way we're gonna do it. And I ask Cal, and he says, "Buddy Joe, whatever you think, we just have to be sure it's safe." And I said, "Okay, here's the plan. He's gonna sit in there. I'm gonna teach him how to do this and everything. I'm gonna lay on the floor next to him. He's gonna work the steering wheel. I am going to work the gas and the brake.
Oh,
You are going to tell me what's going on, when to brake, when to gas, when to tell him to turn over the walkie-talkie
oh,
while
wow.
I'm laying down there." So how goes great. That's good. So I take him out there and we spend about, 3 or 4 days out on some very lonely country roads, and he learns how to do it. I mean, it's a little scary in the beginning
I bet I would have been scared to hell if I was
because
you. You can't
I
see a
cannot,
thing.
I can't see a thing. Right. And so a couple of times, when I'm saying stop because I've given him marks on the road. I'm saying stop, and I know that we've gone too far, and I'd say stop, and then all of a sudden, "Whoa," you know,
Oh,
he's coming. I have to hit the brakes, and I look up, and we're like 3 feet from smacking into this big boulder that we weren't supposed to get anywhere near it. So there were a few things like that, and just think about it, if you're hiding down there like this,
oh,
right?
no way.
Like this, and you're just hoping that he's going to do what you're telling him.
Oh, there's no way.
And you can't so every shot that you see in there with Bud Cort driving, close-ups, anything, is I'm laying on the floor working the gas and the brake,
Wow. Wow.
listening to Hal Ashby's direction.
Oh, man. That's
And
crazy.
he got pretty good where when Hal would say, "Turn right," or "Turn left," that got pretty good. So all I
Okay.
have to do is worried about, are we going over the cliff or not? Because
That's a good thing to be worried about.
area where we do send the car over the cliff,
Yeah.
right? In the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
So there's all those places around there.
Oh, man.
that we- So anyway, that's how we made that happen. And I always liked that story, you know.
Oh, heck yeah. No, I love it. And then you did the one that I got to make sure I mention because I'm sure people are going to wonder about is Close Encounters of the Third Kind because you got Spielberg and it obviously was a monster movie.
Monster. We
Yeah,
were out in we went to excuse me,
it's all right.
water.
Yeah, I'll do the
How you
same.
doing on time? Are you okay?
I'll do the
You want to
same.
quit? Are
What?
you doing okay? You holding up?
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine. I'm enjoying every second of it. I'm in no rush at all.
And remember, is it get the hook?
That's the line we both agreed to. I call to I say, Bill, get the hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
He drag you away. But
So anyway, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
yeah,
I haven't worked with Spielberg before that. Um, I got the job through the producer, who was a producer team, her husband and her.
Kathleen Kennedy?
No, they did Cool Hand Luke and all of those movies. I'll come up with it in a minute.
Okay.
Julia Phillips.
Oh my, I thought about that. The one who had that book, Eat Out to Lunch or whatever, and she spilled the
You'll
beans.
never
Yeah.
have lunch in this town again. She
Yeah.
was very easy on me.
Oh,
She
cool.
she did, lambasted a lot of people in there. She tore Joel Silver apart.
Wow. Wow.
Anyway, she was kind of nice to me. Anyway, I got the job from her.
Hmm.
So we started at the Devil's Post Pile
Yeah.
for about a week and a half. Then we went to Mobile, Alabama. The reason we were there is they had the largest dirigible hangar in the world there.
Oh, no
It
kidding.
was still intact. So inside this dirigible hangar, they were going blimp. Let's just say blimp.
Yeah, I was just gonna say because otherwise I got to have you say it 3 times just to see if you can do it. No, I'm kidding.
Dirigible.
Exactly. Not bad.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay, so anyway, it's this huge, beautiful structure. And what they're going to do there is they're going to build this a mountain up there where the police cars are going to do some stuff. He's going to crawl up there. What's his name?
Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss. Dreyfus, whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
he's going to be up there, and they're going to build the mothership, the huge,
Wow.
big mothership. And we're going to do, I'm going to shoot a second unit of all the little extraterrestrial, my little gymnastic girls uh,
Wow.
in a portion of it. So um, we were there for 8 months
In
to work on
Mobile?
it in Mobile, Alabama.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea about
Yeah,
that.
8 months.
Wow.
So, and anyway, it was a very, very, um, I learned a lot. Doug Trumbull was there. I don't know if you've ever heard
Oh,
it.
very famous.
He uh, he did the first ever moving mat shot, which was the beginning of CGI and all that pretty much.
Wow, wow.
They did so many innovative things on that that it was just every day was, watching them. We had Francois Truffaut.
Oh, come on.
He was he was my buddy.
Really? He's the last guy I would have thought you'd say was your
Me
buddy.
too. Everybody goes, "How did he get to be a buddy?" He goes, "Well," I said, he had a line in the script that we're on the set shooting the scene, and it's they're talking about these extraterrestrials here, and everybody's saying, "Yeah, uh they shouldn't be here. We should kill them all. What are we gonna do with them?" And he goes, "No, they belong here more than we." I cracked up. I go, "What the Francois, can you say that again?" He goes, "They belong here more than we."
Oh.
Anyway,
Oh.
that was the beginning of a grand friendship. I went and had these, and then I started kidding him about "They belong here, Mozambique." So I had these T-shirts made that said "They belong here, Mozambique," and gave them to all the our buddies.
Oh,
So anyway, he was a beautiful human being and such a sweetheart. Um, so I got to talk with him at length about, his films,
yeah, yeah, very
which
famous.
I was a as a film person, I was very aware of his movies. Remember that one on the beach where the car was going around
Oh god,
with the uh,
I'd have to see it.
I'll get it in a minute.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you'll have to give me that because now I'll have to go watch it. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
do, 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 they have the soundtrack for it. One of his famous, should I ask?
No, no, exactly.
We'll get it
We'll
later.
get it. We'll get it. If
So
nothing else, we'll talk.
anyway, there
We'll
was
talk.
it was a just a great experience, just to see the I've never been on a film like that where there were so many layers of filmmaking,
Yeah.
how they were accomplishing what they were accomplishing, and just the fact that, I finally, I was on the stage one day and they started doing the music thing like this about, um, how they were going to communicate with the
Yeah.
extra.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went, what are they doing? And somebody explains to me, "Oh, didn't you read the script?" And I said, "No, I just read the stunt parts."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I went and read the script because it was like, very, very innovative kind of, you know,
It was.
storytelling for
Mhm.
sure. It was classic. So that was one of my iconic films, right along with, you have Harold Mudd, and then you got Close Encounters.
Yeah.
Pretty cool,
Oh my gosh.
you know.
And they built so
Outsiders? Yeah. Yeah.
that mountain was literally inside of that dirigible hangar.
Dirigible hangar. Boom. When they
I'm not saying it again, buddy. Anyway, but it was inside of there.
Yes. So here's what we had to do. They had on each end of the dirigible, if you will, is they had these big doors, right? So they opened the door and they built this kind of a mountain that had the road went through the doors, up the around the mountain like that, and shoo out the other side.
Wow. Wow.
And we did that with the cop cars. Remember
Ah,
that scene?
yeah, I do actually. I remember it.
So
That's wild.
that was on stage, and I had like 3 or 4 stunt guys driving these cop cars at, as fast as they would go.
Yeah.
Oh, shoom, out the other side.
That's
So,
incredible that that was inside. Never would have known.
yeah. Yeah, it was and the mothership was phenomenal. They should have kept that, you know.
How big was that?
It was I mean,
It was as big as it looks on the film.
yes, every bit as much. It
Oh,
probably was bigger than it looked.
oh, that's amazing. And that like that area where they're all kind of like I don't mean bleachers, but they're all kind of like sitting around. It's like
Yeah,
a lighted
that
area
was
and all
there.
this that was in there.
Yeah, it was part of the set. And then
Uh,
all those consoles and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, it was, not since Cecil B. DeMille have they done anything like that, I don't think.
yeah.
That was
And
huge.
did you say that all the extraterrestrials, they were actually like small girl gymnasts?
Yeah, they were what I did is I went around to, all the gymnastic and dance clubs and everything, and the, extraterrestrials were supposed to be like about, 3 foot, 3 and a
Mhm.
half, something like that. So I think we picked, um, girls from, maybe at the oldest, I think they were maybe 10,
Wow.
but
Wow.
we had, like, from 8 to 10 that they fitted small for their age,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they had to be gymnastics, and I had to take each one of them and put them on a swivel belt just to see because we would have to lift them, and then they would have to do these somersaults and do all this kind of stuff, and I
Oh
just
my
had to be
gosh, really?
yeah, with that headpiece on,
Yeah,
that whatever you call it,
yeah,
that extraterrestrial headpiece.
yeah, right. Wow,
Yeah,
that's so
and
interesting.
so I had to be sure every one of these girls could do a specific thing. At some time, we had, like, I think 8 of them on wires at the same time, all doing this
Oh
stuff,
my
right?
gosh.
With these headpieces on, and the bad part about it was the girls were fantastic. It's like when you put these headpieces on, you could only leave them on for, like, 8 to 10 minutes at the
Oh
most,
my gosh.
because then they couldn't breathe in there, you
Yeah,
know? It was just like a little mouth hole and everything.
yeah, right. I
Maybe
remember this.
maybe it was 6 to 8. In fact, it was and then I would just have to tell 'em, "Cut, bring them down," and then I had helpers for each, group of girls,
Man, that's a production.
and that was one of the first, arguments that I had with Steven Spielberg was he goes, "Cut, you cut, I cut, you can't cut."
Oh, gee.
Well, you didn't cut on time, and I already told you that, this is serious stuff. Go take one of those headpieces off and see what the girls look like inside. He went over and took one off. They were like wringing wet.
Wow, wow.
So I said, "If we're gonna do this, we gotta do it my way, and if I need to cut because you haven't, that's just the way it is." So
Oh, man.
he turned around and huffed off. And and after that, I never really did care for him much.
Yeah, right. I gather. I gather.
It was like something that was these kids were young little girls. The
Right.
fact we even had them 15 feet in the air spinning around was like a big deal,
Heck
right?
yeah.
I don't think I would have Steven would have got up there and spun around.
No, I don't think, yeah, I don't think you find too
Well,
many.
anyway, if you're listening to this, Steve, lick. Yeah, I saw him a couple times after that. We were doing Vanilla Sky or something in New York with Tom Cruise, and he stopped by the set one day and he goes, "Hey, Hooker." That's about as much as he could get out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Did you ever work with him again?
I
No.
never I, had some opportunities because right after that, he was gonna do that film 1941 or
Yes. Yeah.
something like that.
Belushi. Yeah.
He was talking to me about doing that and everything, and I never pursued it at all because I just didn't like him,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Ah, that's so interesting. That really is.
"Don't cut my film, I'm the director." But I've cut other directors' films, and they didn't get that upset.
Yeah.
But after that, thing, one time I had to cut something that Francis was doing on Megalopolis recently,
Yeah.
you know, because things are just going wild. A lot of the extras got involved in this big, riot we were doing, and I just cut, everybody, cut. And, I went up and apologized to Francis. I said, "Francis, I know I shouldn't cut your film, but it was getting very serious. Somebody was going to get hurt." He goes, "Buddy Joe, safety, that's why I have you here. You have no problem. You cut whenever you want."
Wow, and that's Francis Ford Coppola.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
So,
get it. Yeah.
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 So, there's like, and the worst that would have happened there, somebody would have got a broken leg or a cracked head or something like that, but still, you don't want anything to happen.
I was
You
gonna
know,
say you don't want that. No, that's why
I
you're,
that's my job.
yeah, that's exactly right. So
Safety is a big part of it.
here's, I mean, you have so many. I mean, literally, I talked to you for 10 hours. We'd never hit the amount of
70 years of this shit, man.
so the one you, I saw the Magnificent Seven, by the way. Was
Yeah,
that
Mag 7, we like to refer to it. You don't
Mag
have to
Seven?
say all that.
Yeah, tell me about it. Because
Well,
I've always loved that.
um, well, it's funny. I swore, as soon as I got out of the Western stuntman era,
Yeah.
is when I was a young stuntman trying to make a name for myself in the business. Is the way you would do it is by, we had no cell phones or social media or
Right.
that kind of stuff. It
Yeah.
was pretty much word of mouth,
Yeah.
you know. So what you would do is you would try to, where were we going with this? Excuse me. I got
Magnificent Seven, whatever you
Oh,
got.
magnificent. So anyway, we're in the Western thing. So I tried as hard as I could to disassociate myself with as a Western stuntman,
Yeah.
you know, because things were moving on. I was done falling off of horses and getting run over by horses and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I wanted to move into things with wheels
Yeah.
because car chases and motorcycles were happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that as a backdrop is my friend is Jeff Dashnow is the stunt coordinator on Mag 7. And he calls me, he goes, "Buddy Joe." I go, "Yeah." "Yeah, Jeff, what's up?" He goes, "I'm doing Mag 7 and we're gonna be here for another 3 or 4 months and everything. And I wanted to know if you wanted to come down and just have some fun. Just do whatever you want to do. I would just love to have you here because you can help me out coordinating some stuff where I don't have time and do whatever kind of stunt you want. If you want to do something, fine. If you don't, fine." And I'm going, "Okay, well, I might can only be there about 3 weeks, 3.5, 4 weeks because I'm starting Roots, the new Roots thing
Oh,
in
geez.
North, but that's right down the road." So he said, "Okay, well, come and you stay as long as you want." You leave whenever you want.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
long story is I go down there, and this is the Old West at its finest. They've got 45 of Hollywood or the world's best cowboys down there.
Oh, that's cool.
They've got every Western stuntman that I ever heard of.
Oh.
Uh, and so they're down there doing some hellacious stuff.
And you
They're doing
loving
each guy, each stuntman there is doing probably 6 to 8 saddle falls where you're going as fast as you can, get shot, and go to the turf
Wow.
a day,
Wow.
each one of them, a
Oh,
day.
oh, come
And this is like
on.
he's asking for volunteers. Who wants to do?
Wow.
It's like, so I'm avoiding those. I said, in the street, we're having there's a bunch of horses, runaway horses. They're stampeding them down the street. And Jeff goes, "Do you want to do a chili winder down there in the middle of the street and get shot?" And then the horse is going to go about, 20 head of horses are going to come down through the street. But, they don't like to run over people or anything. They're got good
Come on.
So I said, "Yeah, no problem." But, I've been around horses and I know, and
Right.
horses, even ones that are runaway, don't like to step on things. You know,
Interesting.
if they see a person or something, they will avoid it.
I never knew
Plus,
that.
I had a fully loaded six gun. And when I went down there, did my chili winder and landed, I landed just like this with my six gun, looking right at those horses coming at me. Right? So if
Wow.
any of them got near me, I was just gonna blow off a round or 2.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I survived that one.
Wow.
Uh, it was fun. The actors that were there were unbelievable. Um, Denzel Washington was great. He didn't like that I called him Denny. As a joke, I was just kidding around with him. I went, "Hey, Denzel," because I was doing an acting scene with him and everything, and then
Wow.
he, hits me in the face with his rifle and shoots me, and so, uh, I say, "Denzel," and all these cowboys around, they dared me to do it, right?
Oh, jeez.
"You won't do it," and I go, "Yeah, why not?" And so he g I go, "Denzel, do you mind if I call you Denny?" And he looked at me just like this,
Oh,
turned around and walked away.
wow.
So anyway, I never called him Denny again, but we had this
Oh,
one scene where um, three of us ride into this shot to a hitching post, in this little alley thing. We ride in, get off our horses, come around like this. I get up on the boardwalk, and I go and I draw down on Denzel, and he, you know, does the into the stomach with his rifle, and then
yeah.
boom into the face, and knocks me back on the boardwalk. So we've done it a couple times. It's working good. We rehearsed it, and we have it's a nice little scene, and
Yeah, great.
yeah, and he's good, and it's looking really good. I'm proud of it. So here we come. Three of us come running in there like this. We dismount our horses, right? We dismount like this, and the horse is facing this way. I have to run around in back of the horses like this and up onto the boardwalk, and
Yeah,
then right down to Denzel where he butts me.
yeah.
So we come running in there, and in rehearsals, we hadn't been firing our six guns, or the other two stuntmen weren't firing them.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So here we go. We run down there like this. I dismount like this. I'm coming around here like this. All three horses, they start firing. All three horses horses turn around and run the length of me, completely trample me. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh,
I had
wow.
hoof prints everywhere but upper body. So nobody says cut or anything. So they trample me like this. I get up, I run up on the staircase, run down to Denzel. He turns around, da da da, does the whole thing. Boom, cut. And Denzel goes, "Did you see that?" I said, "Yeah, I saw it." And he said to the crew, "Hey, crew, did you just see Buddy Joe Hooker did this scene, got run over by 3 horses and never stopped and kept coming, and we finished the scene. Now he is one bad dude." Said that to the whole crew. And it
Wow.
was also on some interview that he did. So anyway, it was, you know, it was worth it.
Did you get hurt at all?
No, I mean, my knee swelled up. They trampled my knee pretty good. And, I was hobbling around for a couple days, but nothing.
Oh my
I
gosh.
had some hoof prints.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And the reason I told you that other story is that I gave up on that stuff. I didn't want any part of, getting trampled anymore in my life.
Yeah, yeah. I think I get it. I think
Yeah.
I get it.
And so here was just like was one of those things that just happened.
Yeah.
Horses don't like guns.
Well, it was a good epiphany moment for you to get away from that. That's huge. What
And
about
it was great that Denzel was appreciated the fact that I kept going. That
oh,
was
heck yeah. That shows. I mean, that's cool. That's like one professional to the other,
yeah,
like recognize that's cool.
was I quit calling him Denny.
Yeah, that says a lot about him. I love that. I quit calling him Denny. Hey, you also did Godfather Part 3 I saw. Uh
Yes.
yeah, so what was that experience like, working on a film like that?
It was unbelievable. I think that was my third third film I did with Francis. Uh, I did, let's see, Outsiders, Rumblefish, and then think it no, I did Tucker, then Godfather, I think.
Oh
Well,
my god.
anyway,
Wait a minute. Go back to The Outsiders first then. What because The Outsiders, I mean, that would have been interesting because you've got such a young cast. The whole freaking movie is they all became
everybody
big.
in there were unknowns except for Pat Swayze had done a couple of things.
Yeah. What was that vibe like being on that set?
Well, okay, I'm gonna start from the beginning again. You might want to get the hook. Um,
No, I'm enjoying every minute of it.
I my an acting he was a casting director for Francis. He just died too. Was also a producer.
Yeah. Was it oh, my brain's going to
Uh,
Joe, but maybe
too.
I'm wrong on that. I know who you're talking about.
No, it's
Oh,
anyway.
I know all about him though. I do. I know who you're
Well,
talking about. Yeah.
anyway, he was a casting director for Francis,
Yeah.
and also became a producer for him. So he produced his last thing before he died was Megalopolis. Uh, I'll think about it in a minute. Anyway, he was a casting guy that I had, gone on a lot of interviews for before he had cast me in some things. I can't remember. But anyway, he was um, casting The Outsiders. And Francis told him that he was looking for a, a younger stunt coordinator type who could do a big gang fight and also work with younger guys,
Yeah.
younger things. That he wanted somebody that could relate and get along with them and so forth. So he sent me on an interview with Francis over at Zoetrope Studios when he was still there,
Yeah.
and he asked me some stuff, and he asked me about how, you know, could I do a big gang fight like that, and how do gang fights work, and who starts them, and how do they finish, and blah blah blah. And I said, yeah, I've been in a few myself, small scale ones. So here's how it works, and told him how I would approach it, how those things generally escalate. There's usually a dominant guy on each side,
Mhm.
uh, and all of that kind of stuff, and how they generally end. So he said, okay, you got the job. So
Wow. Wow.
I said, okay. So that's how I got the job. Then we went down there, and I started training. I took my brother and another couple stunt guys with me to start training the not only the actors, but he wanted to pick 12 guys from the wrong side of the tracks,
Yeah.
the grifters, and then he wanted me to pick 12 guys from the the, the other side of the track, the rich kids, and train each one of those.
Wow, that's a big job.
Yeah. Plus, training, I already had stuntmen that would intermingle in each group.
Mhm.
So what it was is a big fight like this, there's a lot of choreography
Mhm.
that, all these moves, it's like a big dance. And
Sure.
so there's also we have to intertwine all the actors that wanna do stuff, and,
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
Tom Cruise wants to get in there, and everybody wants to do their thing. So that was my job, and in the meantime, then I have to, um, you know, teach, all the guys, Cruz and Rob Lowe and Swayze. Everybody wanted to do gymnastic moves. They wanted to do backflips off the car, for
Are
their
you serious? They wanted to do it.
oh, they wanted to do it. So I enlisted a gym where I would take them, every day after rehearsals or whatever, and we would go in there and train, and I would teach them backflips, bar work, or leaping over fences,
No
all the things
kidding.
that I got some great pictures that I can show to you later at another time, but of all of these guys learning, Emilio
Wow.
Estevez when they're like babies, you
Yeah.
know. So
Was
anyway,
Tom Cruise already that guy that like he
he
is, he's
was
known as Mr. Adrenaline?
already that guy that wanted, that now I know
Yeah.
that's and the fact is that, I don't disagree with what Tom Cruise does with all of his stunts that he insists on doing and everything, because that's him,
Mhm.
and the other part of it is that he's capable of doing it. The
Yeah.
only downside of that is that if you're a producer and you've got, $100 million or whatever invested in an actor,
Yeah. Yeah.
kills himself,
Right.
it doesn't work.
Right.
But Tom Cruise tells the producer, uh, "This is what I'm gonna do in the movie. I'm
Right.
gonna do this, and we're going to make it happen." He has a plethora of stunt doubles, 5,
Yeah.
6 of them, that and they're very good on their own, riggers and everything, and they figure all these things out. They test them. They do them, you know, 30 times before Tom Cruise gets near the rigging,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
So, it's pretty fail safe, and I agree with that part. If he wants to do it, go for it.
Yeah.
That's fine. Um, but and again, in all due respect, is that he is very, very capable.
Mhm.
Oh, he could have been a great stuntman. Anyway, back to the outsiders. We're,
Yeah.
starting to work on the choreography, and Tom comes up and he goes, "Hey, buddy Joe, I got this thing. Watch. We can have somebody, ooh, hit me in the right in the mouth. I'll spit out my tooth." And all of a sudden, he had this, like a fake cap that I guess, had his tooth knocked out or something,
Oh,
and
wow.
which I didn't know about, and
Wow.
spits his tooth out. Ooh, now he's got a big hole in his mouth, and I said, "Dude, I love it. If that's that's fantastic. I mean, you already got a hole there, let's use it." You
Yeah.
know? But you gotta run it by, Francis. If Francis is cool with it, I'm totally cool with it. I think that's great. You want us to knock out any other ones?
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, he was definitely that kind of guy. Whatever anybody else was doing him, I would be teaching somebody a handstand where they got up on the fence and did a handstand or whatever. And okay, well, I want to do it. Let's go to the gym after we rehearse today. And I want to do one on the car hood.
Wow. Wow.
Where I want to get up on the car and do a backflip off of it.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So, aside from everything else, my other chores, I've got these maniacs that
Yeah.
are wanting to embellish their characters, which, again, I agree with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like doing a backflip off a car to show who you are,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and yet Swayze. Swayze was he was a professional ballet guy and everything else.
Oh,
So he
yeah.
must have been great himself.
Swayze was the only guy there that was a disciplined dancer.
Mhm.
He had some gymnastic moves, and but he was just confident with throwing punches and doing this kind of stuff. He
Yeah.
didn't really. He helped me teach them a lot.
Huh.
He
Yeah.
would be on one side and I'd be on the other side spotting him and stuff. So he generally was in the gym every time I was in there to help me out, teach them. And I don't remember that he ever really wanted to do anything. I don't think he had much to prove because once you can do all that stuff, you don't need to show anybody.
Right. Right.
He's pretty confident about his abilities. So um, yeah, it was quite a interesting thing. And when we interjected the bad guys in with the good guys the first couple of times, that almost wanted to get for real.
Oh,
You know,
geez, you're kidding.
no, well, they're poor kids and rich kids.
Oh, oh,
Even though we explained about it, it's still, we had to intercede a little bit, but they, they were really cool to work with, and they listened very well. I've gone back to, the Outsiders Museum a couple times, um,
where's that?
in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, I'll be darned. I didn't know it was there. I wish I'd have known that.
Oh, it's cool. There was a Danny O'Connor who was a rapper for a while, uh, found I was an outsider, uh, guru kinda guy, and so he went and bought the original house that we shot in
Wow.
and refurbished the whole thing and made a, um, museum out of it. It's really
Oh,
kinda cool.
that's cool. That's really cool. I didn't know about that. Wow. Is that where you
Yeah,
became friends with C. Thomas Howell?
see, well, that's another story. Ready? Okay, so when I'm having these meetings with Francis, Francis says, maybe you can help me out. I want to cast a kid, an actor that has maybe a stunt background or something like that because um, Pony Boy is going to have to be doing a lot of stuff. He's going to be going, he's in this fire scene. He's, gets in a knife fight, blah, blah, blah. And I'd like to get a stunt kid, he says. I said, he said, do you know any of your stunt guys that have kids
Oh,
around this age?
interesting. Yeah.
So I went, let me think about it. So I did have a friend named Chris Howell who uh, had his son,
Yeah.
C. Thomas, who was a roper you know, a junior rodeo kid, you know,
I never knew that. Wow.
been riding like, bulls and all that since he was like 8 or something. And so I called Francis up and I said, Francis, I think I got the guy. And so I set up an interview. He goes in, Francis casts him.
That's amazing. You
Never
literally
was an
launched
actor.
him.
Y- Yeah. And we're still good buddies. I talked to him the other day.
Wow. Wow.
There's a million stories in the big city. What was that show?
Oh god, I should know that too. I should know that too. That could be a couple of them in my brain, by the way. I was gonna say that
Uh,
is that LA Confidential, Holland Falls, a lot of them that would have that line.
Terry,
Hmm?
who was the producer of Francis Ford Coppola films that just died recently? Fred. Fred. They didn't say it, but his first name was Fred, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Fred
know what you're
Russo.
talking about. I literally I can see him.
Fred Russo, right?
I think that's right. Yeah, he would go through the pictures. There's shots of him.
Terry,
Uh-huh.
did Fred Russo die? Fred Russo. Yep, that's him.
I'll be darned. Yeah,
I
I
get
can
it.
I saw they have footage. There was a special on The Outsiders, and I remember not only him talking, but literally you could see him going through headshots.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
we handpicked every kid. I went to the schools, and handpicked every kid that was going to be in the fight.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know? And one kid I really liked, and but he didn't have good grades or whatever. But I went to the principal and brought his parents in, and him, and in front of him talked the principal into letting him come and do the show if he would work hard on his homework and stuff.
Wow.
And they let him come. And he was the best of any of them.
Wow, that's cool. Was that in Tulsa itself
Yeah,
that you were?
Tulsa. And
Wow.
then right after we did back to back, and these were films because Francis just lost all of his money in One from the Heart, that movie that he did.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Sure.
he wanted to show everybody that he could make good low budget films.
Mhm.
And so he made Outsiders for 10 million. And then we went back to back into a month later into Rumblefish right in Tulsa as well.
Unbelievable. That's
And these were all, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's Matt Dillon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was Matt Dillon seems like another one, like he would have been not quite Tom Cruise, but he seems like the kind of guy he would wanna do that kind of stuff.
Hey, hey, if I was going to say a young guy that reminded me of an older actor, is he was a Stallone type.
Ah, gotcha.
That's
I
his,
can see it.
that's his,
Yeah,
he
that
was
wasn't it.
that
I know.
New
Yeah.
York kind of guy, but totally cool dude. I love him. We're still good buddies. I see him every once in a while, and he did a great job. He did most of his stunts. I trained him for a good solid month before we started, and he was really, really good.
Yeah.
So,
I figured there's something about Matt Dillon that you would expect he would,
oh,
get into it.
yeah, and he's got a great sense of humor. He's just, really a cool guy,
That's
and it still remains that way.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear. By the way, just because you mentioned him, you did First Blood, am I right? With,
Yeah, which Stallone.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I have to admit, as far as Stallone, that's one of my favorite films of a Sylvester Stallone thing. I thought it was actually a really good movie.
I think that, it was the best of all the Rambos.
Oh, definitely.
Reason being too is I think that the approach that Ted Kotchoff took, the director, was and that Stallone was on base with was that it was kinda like real,
Yes.
like
Yes.
he wasn't being, over the top about he was being that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And everybody the casting in it, everybody in there were, they weren't like overacting or being anything other than they should be,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
Stallone was, if anything, I think he underplayed it to the proper point
Mhm.
where he was, this guy that was being picked on by people.
Yeah.
And and we had empathy for him.
A lot of empathy. Yeah,
Yeah.
even at the end, you're like, "Yeah, I mean, I feel for the guy." What was
I
what
had to jump off the tree for them.
you had to jump off the train?
No, I mean off of the side of the cliff through the tree.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
That was I got to double Stallone.
Oh, wow. Are you on any kind of cables or anything? I mean, jumping off like that?
Nothing. The only cables were this was right after we did a TV series called Spider-Man. So we started doing some very rudimentary cabling and stuff.
Mhm.
When we went to do First Blood, there was no sophisticated, cable systems or any of that stuff. I used a cable when I did the big climb over the 400-foot cliff all the way down. I had a cable on me for that. Uh, but other than that, they took me up. The high fall wasn't that big deal. It was about 95 feet uh, off the side of the cliff. But I mean, it's very impressive.
Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. By the way, I didn't even ask you, which is probably a very obvious question, is what would you say are the most dangerous stunts that you have done in your career? What do you kind of classify as like these are probably my top 3 that were just like,
I get asked that question a lot, but it's very, you
Bill,
know,
get the hook. He's already answered that one. No kidding.
who's this Bill guy?
I don't know.
I've done so many of them that have different qualities or levels of being, the scariest or the most frightening or the this or the that. One time I jumped a car into the San Francisco Bay and my rescue divers couldn't get me out, and so I had to get myself out of the car and, all that kind of stuff, and, there's a moment there that was the most frightening one I ever did in my life,
How
you know,
deep were you when you finally were able to get yourself out of there?
65 feet,
Holy mackerel.
car upside down, pitch black,
And it's
no
freezing. That water's cold up there.
well, I had a wetsuit on, which
Oh.
the worst part was is when I went in the water, the windshield, came in and knocked my regulator out of my mouth
Oh.
that I had 10 minutes of air. Knocked my regulator out, so I went all the way to the bottom, then
Wow.
had to find the air regulator, put it back in, and I was breathing about half air, half water. So, couldn't clear it, none of that kind of stuff. So that one, that part of it was pretty scary. The rest of it was not a big deal. Um, I jumped a motorcycle over a landing helicopter 140 feet once. Um,
What?
that was a little edgy. Uh,
Yeah, like because 'cause you're going right over the blades.
yeah, right
Yeah,
over.
and they're big.
Yeah, but it was that was the after the Evil Knievel ramp to ramp era. So
Mm.
it was, I used similar ramps that Evil Knievel used uh, to clear it. We cleared it by about probably 12, 15 feet. which was plenty.
Wow.
Uh, but there's a moment there, sitting on the start line down there waiting for them to give you the signal that you're a. Apprehensive, you know?
I bet.
The thing about it is, like, if if it goes good, it's great, you're gonna be a hero. If it goes bad, there's gonna be a little piece of you for everybody on the set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Did you ever how about this? What's the worst thing that you as far as getting hurt?
That I'm knocking on wood, I'm not superstitious,
Yes, I understand.
but why take a chance, you know?
Well,
Um,
never.
so no. So, uh, I the worst that I ever had happen was I got a uh, rotator pull,
Rotator cuff? Yeah.
rotator cuff pull, and had a surgery for that. Broke my little finger once, and that's about it.
That's phenomenal. With the career that you have, that's a testament, well, not only to very good fortune, but also that's a testament to how well you do your preparation.
Well, that's you're correct there. It's like I have a little sticker that I always look at before I do anything. I always say that you know, uh, fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Yep.
So if you don't prepare properly, there's a good chance you're not going to make it, you know?
Yep. Yep.
Um, and so another thing that I attribute the lack of injuries to is the world that I came out of, the Western world, is that I saw so many stunt people that, you know, they had a lot of balls, they went for it and everything, but they didn't have any finesse. So pretty much every time anybody did a saddle fall or any kind of a horse stunt, they broke something. You
Mhm.
know, a collarbone, a shoulder, an
Mhm.
arm. And what I attribute a lot of my longevity to is my gymnastic background
Yeah.
and my diving background and everything.
Mhm.
Because what what it comes down to is if you can do a lot of crazy things, if you initiate them and you have control of your body,
Mhm.
is that you know where you are at any given time. So,
Yes.
uh, it's not a matter of just going for it and hoping, and that's what a lot of stuntmen do, and it doesn't work that way. It didn't work for me, is I didn't wanna do anything that I didn't know how it would turn out or having control throughout whatever stunt I was
So
doing.
smart.
So
Was
and go ahead.
I was just gonna ask you, I always think of Burt Reynolds when I think of, like, stunts for some reason, and I don't know, he was always a guy that I always just I don't know, I just was always thinking, "This guy's like a man's man," type of thing, whatever, but he was with Hal Needham, and I was just curious, was Hal Needham kind of a mentor or somebody that you looked up to?
Did you ever see the film Hooper?
Yes, yes, yes.
That Hal wrote that film about himself and myself.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know your tie in there, that's wild, okay.
So that's a whole nother segment. Yeah, Hal and Bert were best buddies.
Yeah,
I I worked on probably about 6 Burt Reynolds movies, you know, Gator,
sure.
uh, all those kind of films that we did down south before Hooper. So uh, Bert and Hal were like that. They
Yeah.
were best buddies. So when, Hal wrote the script, when he's writing it, he's, he knows exactly who's going to be playing the part.
Wow.
He knows Bert's going to do it.
Yeah.
And so then you got the greatest kind of combination of an actor and a director who both know exactly what they're after.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, Bert was everything that Hal wanted him to be and more. The only
Ah,
thing that Bert had going for him more than Hal is Bert has a great sense of humor and
yeah.
a very good comedic side, you know,
Yes.
where Hal isn't that kind of comedic.
That funny guy. Yeah, yeah,
No, no, he's
yeah.
a total, all about business guy. So, anyway, I, got to spend a lot of time with Hal and Bert
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
south. Bert was just the greatest guy ever. You
Mm.
he was when you say man's man, he's a man's man. He tells everybody, I started out as a stuntman. I used to be a stuntman. You've heard that story.
Yeah.
S but not really.
Right. Right. Well, he's a football player
He's
even
like
before that.
Stuntman Mike in Death Proof.
Right. Yeah.
It's like he talks about it. He might have done a few stunts
Right.
in his career. He was always an actor and going to be an actor, but he had that kind of mentality, and he was definitely down deep inside a frustrated stuntman. He
Oh, no
wanted to be
kidding.
one. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You could tell he wanted to do everything that Hal would let him do,
Oh,
you know?
wow.
And again, he was very physically adept.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a great
He
athlete.
was a great athlete.
Yeah. And, he had that urge. If he
Wow.
wasn't an actor, he would have been a stuntman.
You must have had fun just even after shooting with those 2 guys. I mean,
Oh,
come on.
dude, yeah, for sure.
Oh, just have fun. I mean, my god.
Just hanging out with him. I mean, the banter and the laughs and the between them and the stunt crew, he was a Bert loves stunt guys.
Yeah.
On the set, we all hung out together. Even in Hooper, Hal Cast, everybody that you see in there is a stuntman from Stunts Unlimited.
Wow,
He
that's
gave us all
cool.
parts. So we all had parts in there. And I got to double Jan Michael Vincent. So I got to do all the good stunts in there,
Wow,
which was
wow.
great. Yeah.
Jeez. What by the way, with Jan Michael Vincent, obviously, just it's terrible what happened with him with, obviously the alcohol. Did you see it even early on there? Because I had heard it started when he was already doing like with John Wayne, because that used to be the big like, we all drink, and that got him kind of started.
Um,
Did you
I started with Jan Michael Vincent on a film called The World's Greatest Athlete at Disney.
sure, I
That
know
was
it.
the
Yep.
first film that I did with him. Soon as I did that, I was a great double for him. We became instant friends, and I did every film that he ever did. I got him the part on Hooper.
Wow. Wow.
I told Hal, "You gotta read this guy. He's perfect for the part," knowing that if he got the part, I got to do all the
Oh
stunts.
my gosh, is that funny as hell? That is so funny.
No,
You
I had an ulterior motive. But anyway, and in answer to, your question about
Yeah,
the alcohol and everything, I Jan and I hung out together, nonstop. We saw each other 2 or 3 times a week for
yeah,
years. We
right.
surfed all the time and everything. And, we all back in the day was not a big deal. We all smoked marijuana.
Got it.
You know, we smoked salad.
Yeah.
So which was not a big deal, still isn't a big deal. But um, that's all I saw. He the alcohol thing, I started noticing, I did the first half a season of Airwolf, and then I had went on to do some feature, and
Yeah.
I gave my Reed Brondell started doubling him. So, but that first part of the season, I started seeing him drinking more, which
Mm,
I never noticed before. It
yeah.
wasn't he wasn't a drinker, and
Right.
none of us were actually,
Right. Yeah.
you know, it
Yeah.
was he had a beer now and then, but I was seeing Jan in his dressing room had like one of those big things
Like vodka or something. Yeah.
with the handle,
Right. With
you
the
know,
handle.
in there where, I was going, "Hey, you want some vodka?" "Well, are we gonna put orange juice in there or something?"
Right.
"No, no, let's gonna have a shot." I go, "No, no, I don't think so." But
Oh,
I saw that a little bit, and then once I started, doing another film, I didn't see him that much, and then, I started hearing stories about, he was drinking on set and he this and
yeah.
that, and then he started, I guess, got into, harder drugs, later on down the road, and, I saw him a couple times, and it was just, he actually called me up one time to borrow some money or something.
Wow. Wow.
And, "What? You're
Like,
borrowing money from your stunt double?"
and he was like one of the biggest stars there was. I mean, that
He
guy,
could have been he could
yeah,
have been huge,
huge.
huge.
I agree with
I
you.
mean, he had the looks. He wasn't the best actor in the world, but he was getting better.
Yep.
Everything he did, he was getting better, and he just had this way about him, this look
Yep.
that people wanted to like him,
Oh, yeah.
and he just ended up killing himself,
Literally.
and I have no idea where that came from because I thought I knew him very, very well.
Sure.
I spent more time with him than pretty much anybody, and I just looking back on it, I never could figure what part of his brain, took him there,
It's
unless
such a
it
shame.
was some kind of influence that started happening when I wasn't around or something.
Yeah.
Drugs will do that to you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Without a
I've
doubt.
seen it many, many times, but, you know, anyway, it's very
Yeah,
unfortunate, but,
it is.
I do have to say, uh, in my life, I've had a lot of very, uh, blessed situations, being hanging out with Jan Michael Vincent for all those years when it was good, was fantastic.
Of course.
I wouldn't change a thing about that.
No.
Uh, I feel bad about it, but hey, uh,
Exactly. No, that's out of your hands, but that is
yeah,
interesting. Well,
yeah.
buddy, and I'm gonna say Buddy Joe, because I know you don't like Buddy. I'm gonna say Buddy Joe. Buddy Joe,
Call me Joe.
Joe, I really appreciate you being on. I mean, we could talk. We'd be talking now till 10 o'clock tonight. But I'll have to. I'll wrap it up. You've been so great to talk with. I've really enjoyed it very
Well,
much.
thank you. I hope that it's something that you can salvage, you know, uh, that you can
Oh,
put
I
together. I
listen.
know we're all over the place.
No, 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 no. I'm telling you right now. I mean, I might edit a tiny bit, but almost 95% of it, maybe more than that, I'm just leaving in. It was great. There's nothing. This is a terrific. My audience
Are
will
you
love
gonna be there
this.
too? Are you gonna be there too?
Watching? Oh,
No,
you as
talking.
part of it? Oh, yeah, we'll be together on screen.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
yeah,
We'll see to each other.
exactly.
Oh,
When I publish this, I'll send you the link and I'll get a hold of you and stuff.
oh, that would be so much fun for me to watch it.
Oh my gosh. We'll have a good time, trust me.
We might have to get together and have a screening here at the house.
Maybe we will. Maybe we will. But
After our surf day.
yeah, we will definitely be in touch. I would love to stay in
Okay.
touch for sure.
Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed myself immensely. I hope that it's usable and that I was somewhat coherent.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, you were
I
terrific.
just get so excited about it. I wander all over the place.
Well, that's how
But
my show is. So don't worry about it. It was that I loved it. I mean it. It's from my heart. I enjoyed it.
now that we're done with this docile beaver stuff, We can get on down into the real stuff with the
Right.
Billy Friedkin.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to get into, seriously, we may have to do another one.
Oh, May?
Okay, it's a deal. We'll do another one.
Just remember, they belong here, Mozambique.
We with us, Mozambique. I will never be able to not hear that and bust a gut. I'm telling you, it's too
I
good.
hope so.
It's too
I
good.
laugh. I can't even say it. I mean, and the day that I said it to him and the look on his face was like, "What?" But he was a beautiful human being.
You got
All
all
righty.
right.
Look forward to talking to you soon, and, you have my number, I have your number. If you
Hell
have
yeah.
questions or anything, let me know. All right, my brother.
Okay,
Oh,
take it easy. We'll be in touch.
for sure. Thank you.
Okay, bud.
Bye.
Thanks again. Please hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so you're notified when I release a new episode of That's Classic. And in case you missed any of the old episodes, go check them out, like Henry Winkler from Happy Days, or Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver, or Judy Norton from The Waltons. There's so many. Enjoy.